Hi, this is Jake from Optimus Futures, and welcome back to our Sierra Chart What's New series. This is episode 3, and in episode 3, we're going to be covering user interface features. Now, not everything is going to be contained in settings and things like that. We have to show for you some things that have been revamped on the trade activity log, some order routing features. There are a couple different ways on how to place like identical orders and custom calculated symbols, things like that. So like the other videos in our series, and if you haven't watched this one or this video series yet, this video series is pretty much just for our customers, traders, followers, and YouTube subscribers that do use the Sierra Chart platform. There have been quite a few updates in the past year or so, and it has been quite some time since we last created our last technical guide for Sierra Chart. So we wanted to just fill all of you in on the most recent updates that have occurred on the platform and that have been implemented. If you're not aware, maybe your favorite feature has been added from another trading platform. Like I said, they're constantly implementing new features on here, and the platform's always getting new features. There's already a ton of settings as it is, and they're adding even more just to please their users. So first up, and one of the newest settings that have been added as of recently is the revamped trading log. Now, you may not notice all the differences, but long story short, it's become faster, more interactive, and it's just become a better all-over user interface. Now, if you don't use the trade activity log as of right now, I would really suggest for you to do so. You'll pretty much find all of your account-related statistics within your trade activity log. You can monitor sim orders, your live account, multiple trading accounts. There's a ton of stuff to monitor in here. So now as the user interface goes and more interactivity, as you can see, you now have the ability to click within all the different tabs at the top here, each of which are all interactable, and you can customize and change depending on what exactly you want to display. If you're trying to look at all your specific orders from a specific time period, you can do so. You can calculate profit and loss formats. You can factor in commissions. You can create notes for yourselves. Like here, you can filter in on all your different accounts. You can do non-sim if you've been practicing, or just regular live trade orders if you'd like. And then you have your order IDs. So that's just for trade activity. And as you can see, there are a ton of different columns here between the actual type, date and time, symbol, your order action, the exchange IDs, the price, the status. There are a ton of different fields here, all of which are related to the orders you place and all of your actual trade activity. Continuing on, there are statistics. So again, I haven't really placed any trades on my account as of yet, but as you can see, there are a ton of different account statistics all within here. So you have things such as equity peak, maximum run up, average trade, open losses, and profit. You have total commissions, the total trades you made on your account, all of which, again, can be filtered. It's all interactable, and it's pretty intuitive and fairly easy to use. Here we have trades. This is, again, similar to trade activity. This is just going to be where you can monitor positions or actual trades that actually went through, and this is going to be more around profits and losses and more dealing with the actual money side of things rather than your trade activity section. Going on, we have period stats. Again, more on the profits and losses side here. Some things do carry over, but as you can see, each does break it down. This even gives you a percentage of the winners with that actual trade. You have average trade, average winner, average loser. There's a ton of stuff here, and this is all, for the most part, pretty recently new. And then finally, you have chart stats. So if you do have a specific chart open and you've been trading through your chart, you can actually monitor specific charts and the actual orders you have on them and the profits and losses you made specific to a chart. This is definitely newly added, and this is actually a really great feature if you just want to factor off of your charts, not actually off all your orders. So now other things that have been implemented into the trade activity log: better save functionality. It's much easier to use. You can export it, put it onto a different Sierra chart. You can monitor it on like a CSV file or a Word document. You have a ton of different options here. And then there's pretty much just overall improvements in the behind the scene processing. So maybe some of you have noticed before that on Sierra chart, this actual activity log maybe didn't update in real time with your trading account, or it was displaying inaccurate positions or just inaccurate balance in your account. Most of that has been cleared up, and now it should always represent most accurate balances on your account. If you need to, you can always refresh your log here. You can clear the section. Again, you can copy this all and put it into a Word document. You can delete different entries. You can use like matching first in, first out. And then you can obviously change based off initials here. And then you can disable this kind of stuff too if you want. And then as for the windows, you can pretty much just manipulate windows in different ways. You can hide all your trade windows, and then you can just even display only orders and positions. A lot of different stuff here that has been added, but as you can see overall, it's just really easy to manipulate now, interact, and customize, and it's overall become totally a lot better than it was before. So next up on our list is actually going to deal with actually placing trades, and this is going to be oriented for those of you that may have multiple accounts. Essentially what this is going to allow you to do is take an order from one account. So many of our traders and our customers here at Optimus do have multiple accounts. So they'll have their primary account with a specific amount of money in it, and then every trader has their own reason, but they may have a sub account. Here, this is actually going to come into a use for those customers who do use the same methods and strategies and apply them from one account to the other. This is going to help you guys out a lot. So this update pretty much allows for identical orders to be placed for accounts held by the same user. So again, your Sierra chart login, the overall platform is going to be considered your user. Now, it's going to be a little bit hard for me to show off here because I only have one data feed attached to my overall username here. But let's say, for example, and you could probably even have it for different clearing firms or different data feeds. Maybe you have a CTS connection in a Sierra chart, or a Rhythmic connection routed to Sierra chart. This would allow you to take one order type from, or your identical order being your quantity, your order type, if you have stop loss or target profit attached to it. It'll allow you to take all those parameters and extend it from one account on one data feed to one account on the other. And all you need to do is make sure your DOM is open or you have a trade window attached. Come to here, right next to the right of the cancel all button, there's this M. This stands for menu. On menu, hover down to settings here, and then click order allocation to trade accounts. Now again, the only account available I have here is this one, unfortunately, so I'm not going to be able to extend this to another account, and I can't exactly show you how it's done, but you can take your recent orders, make sure this is highlighted, take your added allocation account, click add, and make sure this order allocation to trade accounts is enabled. Click OK, and then when you go to use that second account, which you can change right here, all your order preferences are going to be carried over exactly, and it's going to be able to place that identical order. So maybe even have both data feeds up running at once and you want to place a trade on both accounts simultaneously. This is a good way to do so. All right, so moving on to the next feature as far as user interface updates go. The next one is going to have to do with your symbol settings. Now, actually, the next two features that I'm going to go over have to do with this section. If you haven't been into symbol settings, you can go through global settings at the top here and come down to symbol settings. Now, not too much has changed, but as far as user interface goes, it has definitely received quite a quality of life improvement. Now, new symbol settings, the dialog window specifically over here on the right-hand side. This has added functionality so users are able to scroll through for one. So if you see, you can scroll through and add and look at all this different information if you need to. Now, other than that, they've pretty much made changes to the underlying processing of symbol settings. So as you can see, this allows for easier as navigation, and it will not override existing custom symbol settings. So again, pretty much just easier for navigation. You can scroll through, find the setting you want, and change it up as you need. Or you can just scroll through here, look at all the symbols attached to your data feed, and customize based off of that if you need to. Otherwise, you should probably leave them as default. Now, other settings down here on the bottom, you can just use global round turn commission if you want to factor that in. You can use a global trade position limit. You can apply intraday session times to intraday charts, and you can also use these symbol settings in new instances. So stuff down here, this is more for risk management or things such as intraday times if you do trade specific times in the market, things like that. But other than that, this is more just quality of life improvement. All right, so our next feature within this list is actually going to be also contained within the global settings in the symbol settings window. Now, this has been in here for a bit now, but they've actually made quite a few improvements for it, and this is custom calculated symbols. Now, if you weren't aware, you can actually create your own custom symbols on this platform by coming into this symbol settings window and pretty much clicking on new. Now, you can pretty much combine two different instruments or whatever the case is and compare them. There's a lot of different uses for this, but we're just going to stick to the technical aspect of it. Now, what has been added is it now allows for users to define a custom symbol using standard arithmetic operations or operators in combination with existing symbols. So let me show you exactly what I mean, and I'll show you how Sierra Chart explains it to the user and recommends you do it. So I'm actually going to drag this over here, and you can see that you pretty much follow this guide. So steps 1 to 2, we're pretty much just getting into this window here. And now you can see in the new symbol box, we need to enter the symbol according to the following format. Now you can see this is the format right here. So we need to have a numerical value, the operator, our symbol, another operator, another numerical value, then our operator, and then our symbol. So let's just see what this looks like exactly in Sierra Chart. So I'm going to just copy and paste this. And I know this, we make futures videos, but we also have Forex too. As you can see, this looks like it is for a Forex contract, comparing the euro versus US dollar versus the euro versus the GBP. So we can pretty much just go ahead and paste this in here. That's what the format should look like in the platform. And then if we hit OK, it begins to start creating our custom symbol for us. So now we need to set appropriate values for the price format, tick size, and the currency value per tick. So we can come in here on the right hand side. See, here is our price format. If we want, we can keep it as a default. This is actually taken out of your DTS settings, but we're going to leave this as default. We have our tick size already in our currency value per tick. Let's just, for example, this was 2, so let's put this as a custom 2 as well. Moving on now, you need to enter an appropriate category or name for the category. So we just need to come down here and find the category type. This is right here. Default, it's nothing. We can enter Forex. That's our category. And now we need to, in the next step, set the uses formula operator setting to yes. So let's go ahead and try and find that setting here. Uses formula operators, you need to press custom and then click yes. This is where things have started to change a bit. Once you have everything set up okay, and please be in mind that this is absolutely essential for this feature to work, to have this enabled option, you need to press OK. This will create your symbol. Then you need to click disconnect right here. You can then reconnect. And now I'm a bit curious to see what happens here, but if you come through the find simple window, you should now technically, and yep, you can see it right here. Of course, we don't have any Forex data on here, so it would have made a little bit more sense to do it with a future symbol. That's okay. As you can see, it's now under our Forex category. If we were enabled for Forex data, we could go ahead and open that. And then as the real-time data is received for both of those contracts, you would pretty much see those custom calculated bars added to your chart. So obviously my technicality here is not exactly proper because I am using Forex contracts, but you get the gist. If I would have done this with the ESU 19 compared to the NQ U19, we would have had real data here. So that's that. Now, as far as other user interface features, we've covered most of them here. Just some other things, and this may not be appropriate for everybody or apply to everybody. There has now been millisecond timestamping for market depth data. So this is adds for smoother replays and more accuracy. Other things that have been added that we haven't colored yet are new coloring and user decision-making options for when to reset recent bid and ask data. You can find that in your coloring settings. This is likely under global graphic settings. And then you can go ahead and find recent bid and ask. You can use bid ask, and then, like I said, they have new coloring options for things of that nature. And that really wraps it up for the user interface side of things. More so of the updates lately have been implemented to charts and different indicators, things like that. We've already covered that in the past 2 videos. But again, user interface makes up the entire platform for the most part. So these updates are very important to consider as well. Please, if you did enjoy the video or found something new that you weren't already aware of, please give this video a thumbs up. You can subscribe for more Sierra Chart content, We do have our trading podcast on the YouTube channel. We have trading psychology videos from the Matt Z Show, trading tips, strategies, advice, all of that nature. So feel free to check out that playlist. And as always, thanks for watching, and we hope you found this helpful.